double biceps. It is the contract on legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. We're making sure that the lawyers are happy, the boxes have been ticked. The man to my left, but to your right, depending on what sort of screen that you're looking at, the co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room, it is none other than the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo, the Siberian bull, the Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award, which is the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is none other than your friend and mine. It is Dave Stockbridge.
Well, thank you very much for that very warm welcome as always, Hollywood Matt Connelly. I'll try and get your name right now.
Yeah, I almost stuffed it myself.
After such a wonderful introduction, you just deserve a better co-host than me, I would say. But the young man on screen with us tonight, he hails from Thailand. He's developed quite the reputation in the world of arm wrestling. He now has over 350,000 followers on TikTok and over 217,000 followers on Instagram, making him one of the most followed arm wrestlers on the planet right now. He's a star in Southeast Asia, and here on our podcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Guy Tanapat.
Thank you so much.
So, Guy, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. And I just want to start. You've developed a huge following in a relatively short period of time. What did you do before arm wrestling?
Actually, I had like calisthenic background and working out when I was 13 years old. When I was in but when I turned into high school, I just starting to do some gym stuff like lifting some weight. Yeah. And then after 6 or 5 years of working out, I started arm wrestling, which is 3 years ago.
Wow. So you're how old are you now?
I'm currently 21.
And those trophies that are just over your shoulder at the moment,
Yeah.
So
It's
are they
3 years achievements.
Wow. And what are some of the titles that you've won in that short period?
What do you mean?
What are the titles? What did you win those trophies for?
This one, right?
Yep.
This one is Hangzhou from China in the 85 kilograms category, left hand.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
mostly the competition I went are all in Asia and Southeast Asia, something like that. Never been to some Europe country before.
Mm-hmm. And so tell us some of those countries. Where have you competed outside of Thailand?
The first one is Vietnam. Vietnam I went 2 times, and Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, China, South Korea. Yeah.
Wow. And is it possible now for an athlete to dream of having a professional career in arm wrestling in Southeast Asia?
It's hard to say, but mostly we didn't make much of arm wrestling, like money, cash.
Mhm.
Mostly just from getting famous and doing other stuff beside arm wrestling. I just using arm wrestling as the thing that make me a unique person. Yeah, because
So
in Thailand, not many people is doing arm wrestling.
yeah. So it's interesting because arm wrestling is quite in most parts of the world quite an obscure sport. So what made you feel like that was a good sport to use as a platform to expose yourself to the world?
Yeah, in terms of international scene is okay, but in the scene of my region, is not that good, I think.
Mm-hmm. And of the countries that you've visited, where do you feel has the strongest arm wrestling culture?
I would say China and South Korea.
Wow.
Yeah. Those countries are all stronger than Southeast Asia.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
And what is the scene like in Thailand at the moment?
What do you mean?
Is it what's the arm wrestling culture in Thailand at the moment? For instance, are you part of a club?
Actually, I'm independent, but I'm also trained with every single team in Thailand. In Thailand, maybe currently have around 500 people doing arm wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's very small group of people.
It's more
Yeah.
than we've got in Australia.
And do you feel like it's growing at the moment?
It's growing. It's in the in the peak of Thailand right now. Yeah,
That's incredible. It
Do
seems to
you,
be
because
the case.
in the past it's not that popular. It's just like it's not a sport. Yeah, but now it's a sport.
Mm. Sorry, Matt, you were about to
I was
ask a
going to
question.
say, so you've trained with a lot of the clubs that are in Thailand. Over
Yep.
the last 3 years, have you seen like a big growth in when you started to where it is at this point?
Like what?
As in more people that are getting involved in the sport, you're seeing more clubs come up, you're seeing more tournaments happening.
We are trying to make more tournament happening in each year, but it's quite hard because uh, there's no government supporting yet. Mostly we just organize ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Pretty similar to us in Australia, I'd say, in that regard. The government aren't really involved, and there's not that sports club infrastructure like it might be in more mainstream sports. And so it's really left up to people like Matt to form a club and to run that, and without any real financial
Mm.
assistance. And it sounds like it's the same there in Thailand.
Yeah, correct. Financially is the problem for doing a lot of things about our wrestling in Thailand.
So, are you the number one guy in your weight class in Thailand right now?
Yeah, I'm number one in my weight class and in open class as well.
Wow.
Wow. So both, and so who's your number two? Is he close?
Yeah, he's very close to me, maybe 5 to 10% difference in terms of power.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I also post him on my Instagram, but he's down below. He's a very tall guy, a very big guy. He has a
Ah,
structure advantage over me, but yeah, I just beat him.
Wow. Fantastic. It's amazing. Is it? It's one of these videos here, is it, on your Instagram?
A little bit down there.
That's probably a fair. You post a lot of stuff here. I do like the stuff you've got
Yeah,
where you're competing with just random people,
yeah.
and they're just coming up and having a go. I think that's always a positive.
I think in terms of like growing, we can say growing now in Thailand because let's say 2 or 3 years before is nothing. And wrestling is nothing in Thailand.
Right. But yeah, now you've got 500 people that are getting involved in the sport. That's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. And yeah, you're
Thanks.
doing these a lot of promotion for the sport, and obviously your social media is really up there with the amount of people that you've got that are following you. You can see, we're looking at your Instagram here, the quality of all the stuff that you're putting up there. You're meeting a lot of people. It looks like you're constantly going out in public and spreading the word of arm wrestling.
Yeah, because I think no one have done it before in arm wrestling in Thailand, so I should do it. I should take it.
Yeah,
have
good on
you
you.
have you always been big on social media, or is it really getting into arm wrestling and that's what's really led to this explosion of content creation?
Content creation. When my content related to arm wrestling, I think it's interesting. I use it for to gain followers, to gain audiences in my channel. Without arm wrestling, I would not be able to growing so fast like this.
Wow, that's interesting because you're a very gifted young athlete. It appears to me you could have done any number of sports in order to give yourself a
Yeah, this guy,
platform.
this guy.
And
Yeah.
and did you choose arm wrestling specifically because it was a niche, or did you? Is it just the
Uh,
sport you had the greatest passion for?
when I was started wrestling, I just do it for fun until at some point of time I realized I should make profit out of it. Like if we like want to make a profit out of wrestling will be a difficult task, but to to gain like gain some fame of it, to getting famous by from arm wrestling, and then making making money from some other ways.
Well, that's very interesting because Matt and I encounter a lot with arm wrestlers that they feel like rather than putting a focus on the social media, they put a focus on the sport. And then when they want to create opportunities for themselves, it
Mm.
becomes hard because they don't have a profile and they're not recognizable and they don't have a following. So they might be really good arm wrestlers, but because their following isn't great, they're not very attractive for promoters because a
Yeah.
promoter wants an audience and if you an athlete like yourself uh, can almost guarantee a promoter a big audience. So it's very interesting that you've come about that whole process correctly as far as we're concerned. What made you think that though? What made you think that was the best way to go?
I love like love editing videos and doing contents by myself at,
Hmm.
at the first point. So I noticed that there's a lot of trend in TikTok and on Instagram that could gain followers, but none of them is arm wrestling. So
Mm.
we could just applying them by just adding arm wrestling to these types of trend, right? So that will make us gain followers.
So you'll pick up on say a trend on TikTok, something's going on, and then you'll
Yeah,
adapt arm
mostly
wrestling to the trend.
from some, maybe you can just listening to some audio on TikTok or audio on Instagram and just imagine the picture of editing video on your in my head.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And do you come from like a cinematic background? Do
No, no, no.
you?
I just love editing video by myself. Just not learn self learning.
Well done. Just
Amazing.
amazing. It really is,
Fantastic.
and it's something that we would encourage all emerging athletes.
Sometimes it's a bit cringe, but I have to do it for getting followers. You know. Yeah,
Yeah. That's sometimes the price to pay if you want to get your
yeah,
follower
yeah.
count up. But you're a great example to emerging athletes as to exactly what to do, and by creating content that's relevant to the trends that are happening now, but also applicable to the you made it applicable, or you make it applicable to the sport. You're able to get a whole different type of attention to you as an athlete. So well
Uh,
done.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's one of those things that we always sort of talk about is that there's two sides to being successful in sports or being a superstar, and one side of it is your ability on the table or in the sport itself, and then the other side of it is the self promotion that has to happen. Because if you've got somebody with a really big personality and they're charismatic and they're interesting and they do something which is unique and they get people that want to see them, that is gold for creating opportunities, because promoters look at that person and say, look, everyone wants to know about this guy, everyone is interested in what he's doing, everyone would want to see him compete. And then if you couple that with a high level of skill as well, that's where you start getting your real superstars of the sport, because you've got somebody that can sell tickets, that gets attention to your event, and will also do a fantastic performance on the actual table as well. So when you've got both of those things combined, that's where you can really see somebody's light just really shine. And when somebody is lacking in one of those, the second, I think the charisma and the ability to be a showman and all that sort of thing is not something you can really fake. I think it's just going to be a natural thing, but it doesn't mean you can't use all of the tools that are available to you to still promote yourself. So where what you've done with TikTok, what you've done with Instagram, what you're doing with YouTube, you're putting yourself out there. You've got the skill as well on the table. You're #1 in Thailand. You're very well known, and it's no secret why when we went looking for our next opportunities for arm wrestlers, your name immediately came up, and it was like, yep, let's get this guy.
It's a nice opportunity.
And so, what are some of the things you're looking forward to in 2025? What are your plans?
I will join more like international tournament if possible. I will try to fundraising myself and try to financially support myself, because
Brilliant.
every time I go to compete overseas, it takes a lot of money from my countries to go there. But if I want to go to some European countries, it would take a lot more. So I need
Yeah.
to working hard in terms of arm wrestling and my my something like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what do you do for a living, or do you just do the social media now?
I'm still a student, and I also doing some affiliate videos on TikTok. Yeah,
Fantastic.
affiliation is the mainstream of my financial.
Brilliant. And what are you studying?
Computer science.
Oh, fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No,
Just
we're
amazing.
very excited to meet people like yourself who are willing to go out and put their money where their mouth is, in a way where it's like, I have a dream, I have a goal, I want to do this, and I want to compete internationally. Rather than just say that, it's like, no, I'm actively trying to get there, and people can help out by sponsoring or by following you, subscribing, just being interested in what you're doing. And it's like, you have goals. I love the fact that when Dave asked what your plans are for this year, it was, I'm doing as many international matches as I can do, despite the fact that it is incredibly difficult financially, with the currency changes and stuff like that, and Thailand's dollar compared to everywhere else. But it's like, it's not going to hold you back, because you're still going to go out and make these things happen.
Yes.
What was the reaction of your friends and family when you said you want to be an arm wrestling influencer?
My family, actually my friends just they really love it. Really want
Oh,
to
yeah.
see me go compete outside the countries. But for my family, they just so for them. It's not profitable by itself. The sport is not profitable by itself. But they just want to support me when I working on my TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, Hollywood Matt Connelly, we're getting to that point of the show when we must turn our attention to the comments and see what the good people in the world of arm wrestling have to say.
That's right, absolutely. Well, I'll get this one that just popped in. It's Greg Yo from Eastside Arm Wrestling, who's jumped in to say, just tuning in, lads, just here to say, Guy is about to make huge waves in the international scene. Absolutely. We're
And in
really
case we
excited.
didn't know how big, he wrote huge in capital letters. So we know it's going to be really big.
Yeah, absolutely. The Drew was in very quickly this time. I think he was shown up by Mr. Peanut yesterday, so he was the first person on board. French McGee is in. She says hello to all. Hello to French. And my light is in the way. Taryn Broad from Dankiest Arm Wrestling, from the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club, which is this one right here. He says, looking forward to learning more about Guy Tanapat. So he will hopefully find out some useful information about Guy. He may or may not be a upcoming competitor for Taryn. Charles Davison is here. He says, let's go. He's very excited. Kyle, another member of the SA Titans Arm Wrestling Club. And who else? Mr. Peanut is in, of course.
Mr. Peanut.
Yes, of course, Mr.
Sir.
Peanut. Can't forget about him. And of course, Greg, who's just popped in as well. Greg Yo, who does a tremendous job from Singapore with all the Southeast Asian arm wrestling scene.
Yeah. And it seems like you've become very familiar with that Southeast Asian arm wrestling family, and you've obviously spent time on the table with Greg as well. And what's your read about where arm wrestling is going to go in Southeast Asia in the next few years?
In the next few years, I would tell this it's different. Each country is different. I think for my country first, Thailand in the maybe next few years will have some support from government more, because we just got this arm wrestling as a sport not many months ago. So after this, after they will have like some financially support for an event, hopefully. But for other countries like Vietnam or Indonesia, those countries are already like bigger than Thailand, so it's hard to say.
Mm. Greg did mention on our podcast that one of the reasons he feels that he's become so influential and become I guess a connecting figure in the world of arm wrestling in Southeast Asia has been because he can speak English well, and he also noted that that was one of the reasons he felt that you were a real superstar into the future, because you've got this opportunity to cross that cultural divide between Asia and the English speaking world, where in the West there's, that's a great opportunity to monetize and to continue to develop your profile. Do you also feel the same, that your English speaking skills are what really sets you apart from almost all the other arm wrestlers that might be emerging in the region at the moment?
For English speaking skill, I think it's very important skills for this sport, to be honest, because
Yeah.
mostly young wrestlers are all, like, if we count it by percentage, they are all in Europeans or in the speaking English countries. In Asia, if we want to get the scene in our wrestling, we need to have this skill. Like maybe some writing skill or reading is okay, but speaking will get us closer.
Mm. And how did you learn English? Is it something that's taught to you in school?
No, I just self-learning again.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, actually, my first international tournament is in Vietnam. I went there. My English is not that good, but when I met many people, some guys from Russia, Singapore, and some any other countries, is keep getting better a little bit, improving a little bit.
Incredible. Do you have any English speakers in your social circle?
No. They're all speaking Thai.
Wow.
Incredible, because
Yeah,
you don't even have a really strong accent.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
You sound you've got a very very smooth accent. It's quite remarkable that you don't have people around you speaking English all the time. It's
Yeah.
amazing, actually.
Very impressive.
We have
Thank you,
people
thank
that
you
were
so
raised
much.
in Australia that have stronger accents than you.
Yes, I understand. I understand Guy a lot better than some of the people that I'm talking to earlier
At the
today.
supermarket. Yeah.
That's right. So
And,
you sound like a very self-driven person, that when you see something that you want to achieve, you go out and make it happen.
and where do you get that side of yourself?
Okay, what?
Where do you get that from? That ambition and desire to achieve?
Uh, just I want just want to get rich. I think need to have a lot of skill in combine to get to that point. Yeah,
I love
it
it.
helps support each other. Yeah.
And so in your mind, like, so basically being able to provide for yourself, provide for your family, have a good lifestyle. What I find truly remarkable is that you felt that arm wrestling can be that vehicle that helps you achieve all of that.
Mm, to use arm wrestling in that way, it's really unique way. Yeah, like, not let's say we have 100 people, only one or two can do it. To be
Mm.
honest, because to be honest, for me myself, I still don't know how did I get from there to here. I just keep doing it, and improving it day by day, and then
Incredible.
eventually I got here.
And Greg just dropped a comment in saying that you are known within the Southeast Asian arm wrestling community as the Mountain God.
Mountain God. Yeah. The Godfather of Singapore gave me this title.
Well, we're still waiting for Greg to give us a title, so I'm sure he's working on something. So,
Because my territory in my homeland, in my hometown, is mostly mountain, so they call me Mountain God.
Oh,
amazing. Well, why not then? That sounds perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a lot going on, and it sounds like there's a lot planned for 2025. Can I ask you, if you weren't doing arm wrestling, and what do you think? What other sport would you be doing instead?
Other sport,
Yeah, like if you weren't going to be an arm wrestler, what other sport would you have done, do you think?
maybe bodybuilding, but I want to be in the sport because it takes a lot of effort, maybe more than arm wrestling.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and many stuff. I think arm wrestling is this sport of time. It takes a lot of time to get better and better, and just a lot of discipline. If I'm not doing arm wrestling, maybe I'm not doing any sport, any other sport. I just working with the affiliation or selling other stuff.
Yep. Well, it's been great talking to you. It's been fantastic to get some insights into the world of arm wrestling in Thailand, and to see the impact that you're having on the Southeast Asian scene. And I think you're having such a big impact because you people can see in you a fantastic example of how to create a big profile, a huge following, and then to convert that into real world opportunities that can take you all around the world. So
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And
Yeah,
so
thank you.
yeah, I want to congratulate you on that, and for the wonderful work that you're doing to raise the profile of the sport in your own country, in the region, and we can't wait to see what happens for you in 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to.
Awesome, mate. Well, to everybody in the comments section, we want to thank you. We love you. We really appreciate you tuning in every night. This is Arm Wrestling Tonight. It's your 5-night-a-week dose of arm wrestling, where we bring you some of the big up-and-coming names from around the region and around the world. Hollywood Matt Connelly, any final thoughts before we head away?
just got to say a big thank you to Guy. A big thank you to everyone in the comments there for joining us tonight. And I guess we'll finish with a nice double biceps just to finish it
Look
off
at
here.
that. Maybe Guy, maybe you can jump in.
Oh, look out.
No!
Oh, no. He's out angled me.
Out-angled. Look at that. Oh, my
Nice angle, nice angle.
God.
That's great.
Guy, I think you beat him there. I think you won that one. I think you
he
won
might
that pose down, Guy.
have.
Very, very familiar. I like the bicep into the forearm.
Bicep.
I thought that was a
Ooh,
nice
I'll
touch.
have to move
Yeah,
that in. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's not a forearm. That's a leg of ham. That's what
It's a
that is.
That's funny.
My goodness.
Oh,
Well, thank you very much to everybody again, and we look forward to bringing you more arm wrestling tonight, tomorrow night, and tomorrow night we have on the podcast Lachlan Carpenter. So really looking forward to that. He's a rising star here in Adelaide. He did beat Ryan Bowen just a year ago in Queensland. We don't let Ryan Bowen forget about that either. So, and more recently is featured on the socials of Mario Tembakis, of whom he is a training partner, and Ryan Bowen, of course, who uses him as a bit of a testing, a bit of a yardstick to see how he's going with his preparation. So we look forward to speaking to Lachlan Carpenter tomorrow night. But for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please join me one more time in thanking Guy Tanapat.
Thank you so much.
all right.
Thank
There
you
we
very
go.
much.